online.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Thursday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And yet another gorgeous day yesterday. Will it continue today?
Today with more sunshine. Yesterday we had a little bit of clouds, but today that low pressure shifts east and we'll get more sun, dry weather, and the same temperatures. This whole week we've had a pretty consistent temperature trend of upper 70s, low 80s. So if you thought yesterday was comfortable, today's looking pretty nice. So again, that dry stretch continues from 9 days yesterday. So including today, we're now sitting at 10 days, which is the longest stretch of dry weather in September since 2020, and these records have been in place since 2007 when the record-keeping moved to Griffiths in Rome. So since 2007, this is tied with 2020 for the longest stretch of dry weather in September history. Around the state, we've got some locations of near zero visibility. We got patchy fog moving in. 52 Hamilton, 54 in Rome with fog reported down there as well. And the radar, again, it's looking pretty quiet right now. We're tracking how close those rain showers are to central New York. It's actually, thankfully, not nearly as close as it was yesterday, but there still will be some chances for rain heading into the weekend, potentially Saturday or Sunday. But a light sprinkle. Again, we're cutting it really close. But today, though, we got temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s, more sunshine than clouds. And again, we'll talk about those rain chances for this weekend in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. It's been more than 2.5 months since 13-year-old Yahweh of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. The time now is 5:14. We're getting you set as you head out to work this morning or anywhere else on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, a live look at downtown Utica right now. It was a clear, or at least clear visibility start yesterday. We're seeing some fog roll in from the Mohawk River as fog has formed in mainly the river valley locations here locally. Not nearly as widespread in Oneonta as it usually is early this morning, but again, watch out for some low visibility as you head out to work this morning. A live look at our Munson traffic tracker. Again, there's just a report of a stalled car on Whitesboro Street at Jason Street, but that's pretty minimal of an effect on your morning commute. Most of the area is looking relatively quiet and accident-free. But again, this morning we've got temperatures starting out in the 50s with more sun in the sky today compared to yesterday, and high temperatures similar to yesterday in the upper 70s to low 80s. Gary?
Eric, thanks. After spending long days in July,
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. We're starting out the day today with locations of patchy dense fog and temperatures in the 50s. This quiet stretch enters day 10 as we are still in a very, very dry period of weather here for September standards in central New York. But regardless, it's a little bit foggy in parts of downtown Utica right now as fog blowing in from the Mohawk River is reaching some of the highest buildings here in the city. Currently sitting at 54 in Rome with clear skies where the fog is not taking place. Comfortable levels of humidity with dew points in the low 50s. Now the radar right now is completely dry at this point, and coming up in our next half hour, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what this looks like when we turn up the sensitivity and why we see so much interference. But to the forecast, the important one right now, which is where is that rain headed? We mentioned yesterday we got rain showers south of the Pennsylvania border, and this low pressure is disorganized. It's pushing back towards the New England coast, and it's going to slam into this high pressure here that's keeping us dry at this point. And it's a battle, so this is not something that is definitive as the rain will stay to the east or it will move into our area. It really just depends on who wins the fight. And so far, our thoughts are that high pressure wins out for today and tomorrow, but we are really cutting it close for the weekend. Highs for today sitting in the upper 70s, low 80s. Keep in mind, normally this time of year, at least mid-September, normal highs sit in the low 70s, and by the end of the month, mid-60s. So enjoy this summer-like weather while we have it, because as we head into the end of the month, we'll start to see cooler and cooler temperatures that usually take place this time of year. Our fall foliage report, I did some scouting. I drove to Oneonta yesterday, as well as some other reports that came in, and so far we extended a few more of the zones of some color. Some locations up in the highest elevations in the North Country are at the midpoint levels. And if you're planning on doing any traveling to see some of the fall foliage, again, the 28th and 29th of September is the weekend where the high peaks will be at peak colors and near peak for most of the Adirondacks. So again, planning a hiking trip, great time to do that. For now, sunshine will be a bit more prevalent today as that low pressure stays to the east. But again, look at how close that rain tries to reach our area. On top of that, we got a cold front moving in, heading into Saturday, and it's going to fall apart, but maybe a stray shower might hook east into our region. But for now, again, it's dry, temperatures upper 70s, low 80s. Tonight, clear skies, lows in the 50s. 7-day forecast. Another warm day for your Friday. Heading into the weekend, still no changes to our temperatures. Low 70s with mainly dry weather. We'll see a better shot for rain next week. It is trending a little more rainy, so those of you hoping to water your gardens or have nature do it for you, you might have a shot by the middle of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. COVID-19 cases are high in many parts of the country, and now flu season is coming up. Experts say.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And get ready to get outside yet again today.
Yeah, great outdoor weather. More sun today compared to yesterday, but we're starting out a little foggy.
Yeah.
Let's take a look outside right now and see where that fog is taking place. First off, around the state, visibility 1 mile in Hamilton. Some locations have more dense fog as you head into the Southern Valley spots. But for the most part, it's a quiet start. Temperatures sitting in the 50s, 54 in Rome, 52 Hamilton. The cold spot in Saranac Lake, which starts out the coolest, matter of fact, yesterday was warmer than Hamilton and even Rome by around noontime. Of course, that was due to the more sunshine being north and a few more clouds at the south. The radar today, starting out quiet, and I want to mention something here. As I said earlier on, that in the next half hour I would show you what the radar looks like normally. I turned down the sensitivity because we're seeing lots of green. If you're wondering what this is what's called an inversion. The radar is reflecting off of the temperature change because the surface is cooling a lot faster than above in the atmosphere, and the radar signals reflecting, seeing things like insects, like birds, and other particles near the surface. So it's actually getting more sensitive near the ground. So that's why sometimes when we show the radar, you see some of those green patches, which isn't anything. That's why we turn down the sensitivity on days like today, which is completely quiet. Next 12 hours, you can see quiet conditions, sunshine, temperatures upper 70s, low 80s. We are tracking yet again another dry day tomorrow, but we're cutting it close for rain for the weekend. We'll talk about how it shapes up in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. In his first rally since the second.
You need to know. Will they need a jacket, an umbrella? What should your kids wear to school tomorrow? Get the bus stop forecast only from Storm Tracker 2. Brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group. The WKTV Tower Cam is brought in for the blind and visually impaired.
Welcome back to News Channel 2 at sunrise. They're showing our photo of the day on this Thursday, and this one is some foliage taken up in Big Moose Lake. And you can see here a lot more colors starting to form, especially near the sides of lakes and creeks and rivers. and especially in the highest elevations up near the high peaks, but also parts of the Adirondacks, some locations just south of the Mohawk Valley and those hilltops near Richfield Springs. And it just goes to show you that it does feel like it's an early start to fall foliage this year because it's been so warm. It doesn't quite feel like we're entering fall just yet. A reminder that while we're entering fall in just a few short days, our first ever reports of trace amounts of snowfall was actually back on the 12th, and that was in 1985. The low temperature there was around 35 or so degrees, and even then, at 35 degrees, snow can still fall. We're in the season where it's possible. It's extremely unlikely. Outliers, again, it's only 2 times in the past 75, 80 years that this happened. So, but again, it's a sign that the temperatures and the seasons are slowly starting to change. But we'll enjoy the summertime weather for now. Again, it is still officially summer, so let's enjoy the final few days. 50 to start today, climbing into the upper 70s, low 80s by this afternoon with plenty of sun. Gary?
Eric, thanks. New York State has launched a program that will pay students in the SUNY
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. It sounds like a broken record. I'm just repeating it day in and day out. It's a dry day. No real changes to the forecast as of this point. Downtown Utica right now, the only difference today compared to yesterday, it's a foggy start in parts of the Mohawk Valley near the Mohawk River, but throughout the afternoon, we'll see a little bit more regarding sunshine. Current conditions, clear skies in Rome with a temperature of 54 degrees and comfortable levels of humidity. And the radar at this point, again, is looking entirely dry. And as we turn our attention to the bigger picture, radar and satellite showing that low pressure just off the coast of Boston and parts of Massachusetts. And the rain will stay to the east. We got this thin ridge of high pressure keeping things dry. But again, it's going to be cutting it close as we head into tomorrow, or for better chance for rain Saturday and Sunday, but better chance being slight chance, if any, as we've got an approaching cold front from the west, and then, of course, keeping an eye on that low pressure to the east. Today, though, is looking dry. More sunshine than not. Temperatures upper 70s, low 80s. Warmer than average this time of year, normal high in the low 70s. And larger scale picture, as you can see here, here's that low pressure. Watch it try to shift eastward. Here it comes, back inland a little bit, but it's just struggling to push any farther than Massachusetts. But we also got this cold front here that's also going to be falling apart as it encounters this very thin ridge of high pressure here. So we're not ruling out showers 100%. But most of the area will remain dry for the next 3, maybe 4 days with an isolated shower here and there as that front begins to weaken and fall apart. And so on our Skycast, we've got more sunshine today. Temperatures upper 70s, low 80s. By tonight, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, lows in the 50s. By tomorrow, we got another warmer day, highs in the upper 70s. Potentially low 80s, but I think it'll be slightly cooler in the afternoon. And then as you head into Friday night into Saturday, we're seeing a few more clouds, and then here comes that approaching front. But again, it looks to fall apart for the most part. 7-day forecast, cooling down a little bit as we head into the weekend. Saturday high of 73, Sunday, first day of fall, high of 70, and then the actual best chances for rain arrive Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. We'll be right back.
Joey 4.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Thursday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And what a week, what a 2 weeks, what a whole month it's been, right?
Yeah, I mean, we only had a few days of rain. I know we mentioned that we've got several days straight of dry weather, but before this stretch, we had another stretch of beautiful weather before I left for California. So I didn't experience half of it, but I'm experiencing it now. Today, though, less clouds in the sky compared to yesterday, but as you take a look at how long this stretch has been, now approaching 10 days, the longest stretch tying 2020 since 2007 when records began, at least when the records were changed to Griffiths and Rome versus the previous locations in Utica and other spots. So again, it's a dry stretch and it's another dry day today. Live look at downtown Utica. Few locations trying to form into areas of fog with temperature of 54 in Oneonta. Near zero visibility in some spots, but for the most part, we've got some locations seeing clear skies. 54 Rome, 52 Hamilton, 57 up in Watertown, and the radar is still looking pretty quiet. Next 12 hours, quiet conditions, more sun than yesterday and highs in the upper 70s, low 80s. So enjoy this summer weather as we are still above average for this time of year. And then we'll see a little bit of a cool down as we head into the weekend with potential for an isolated shower. We'll talk about the reason why in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. Well, it's been more than...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning. The time now is 6:12. We're getting you set heading out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, taking a live look at downtown Utica this morning, a different start compared to yesterday. That fog blowing in from the Mohawk River, reaching parts of downtown. Heading out the door this morning, you might encounter this, so a heads up, budget some extra time in case you encounter some of this fog. A live look at the traffic tracker right now. We've got no accidents to report of at this point, and we do have several planned road work locations listed both on our website as well as in our next half hour. We'll be taking you location by location, showing where they are. But again, this morning, areas of fog, but that's really about it regarding travel impacts. With temperatures in the 50s, we'll climb again quickly into the upper 70s to low 80s with plenty of sunshine. So it's going to be a great stretch of weather for today. Dry weather sticks around through tomorrow, but we're cutting it close to the rain chances as we head into the weekend. We'll talk about those chances in that forecast coming up after this. Gary?
Eric, thanks. After spending long days in July...
Weather spoil your day. Tune in for the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, brought to you by Munson. Visit Munson today and ignite curiosity and creativity. Visiting Munson and the Storm Tracker 2 CommuteCast, both free and both Utica's very own. Remember, all roads lead to Munson.
This portion of News Channel 2 is brought to you by PJ Green.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. We are starting out the day today with some areas of patchy fog. Sunshine moving in this afternoon with temperatures going from eventually the 50s up into the 70s, near 80 degrees by this afternoon. But first off, take a live look at downtown Utica right now. We are seeing some fog move in from the Mohawk River. But in some other spots here locally, temperatures not too bad. In fact, conditions not too bad. Clear skies, 54 in Rome, comfortable humidity with an east-southeast wind at 3 miles per hour. Radar is still looking dry locally, day 10 of this stretch of dry conditions. And as we turn our attention to the radar and satellite over all the Northeast, that low pressure just off of that coast of Massachusetts. Now, this is going to shift eastward or westward a little bit, and we've got this cold front arriving from the west pushing east. So we'll be sandwiched between these two systems. So when we say we're cutting it close for rain, we're cutting it really close. In fact, zooming in, the one plus to these systems being far apart is we got some sunshine expected for today. Temperatures climb up into the upper 70s, low 80s, above average this time of year, normal high 72. Dew points, humidity levels, noticeable but not too bad. So again, the feels like temps will still be sticking into the low 80s. Wind speeds not too bad as well. They pick up a little bit as we head into the afternoon and in the evening. But again, we've got mainly quiet conditions here today. I did some traveling yesterday, drove down to the Oneonta area through parts of Otsego County, got to see some of the foliage colors at this point. Some locations in the highest hilltops in northern Otsego County have the most color. As you head south, the color diminishes a little bit. So I still have it at some color. I'll likely change it to midpoint by this weekend. And then in the North Country, a lot more spots. In fact, some of our sky watchers reporting more foliage, especially up near inlet parts of Big Moose. We're seeing more colors. So expect this to change very quickly. I know some of you are probably looking outside. Your location, your home might see more foliage in other spots. But again, fall comes and leaves very quickly here in central New York. Low pressure moving up the coast. Again, it's really cutting it close to central New York, but it stays generally east of our area. But here's that cold front moving in as we head into the weekend. But for today, though, sunshine, temperatures upper 70s, low 80s, mostly clear to partly cloudy skies tonight with lows in the 50s. So we still left out rain showers for the next 4 days, but that doesn't mean some spots Saturday and Sunday are going to be entirely rain-free. You could see an isolated shower. Again, that's the way these systems work. Sometimes it's not nearly as well-defined with a line of rain as it sometimes usually is, but better shot for rain will be as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We'll be right back. It's 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And keep that pool open out there. If you have one, keep it open, right?
Yeah, I've seen some folks close their pools, and again, you know, it's still summertime and it's still summer temperatures. I would say hold off on that for a little bit. Enjoy the warm weather, enjoy the sunshine today. Before we get to the sunshine, though, taking a look at Oneonta right now. In fact, it's not nearly as foggy as days past. There are other locations this morning, primarily as you saw in the tower camera, of fog in the Mohawk Valley. So we've got a few clouds in the sky, but blue skies directly above it as this fog burns off and more sunshine rolls in. 1 mile visibility in Hamilton. Fog reported there, 50s across most of central New York. The radar right now is looking completely quiet, and we'll still be seeing quiet conditions throughout the day today with a lot more clear skies than clouds compared to yesterday. And of course, we'll mention that we've got another dry day on tap for tomorrow, but we're cutting it close with rain chances for the weekend. We'll talk about those chances as we head into our full forecast in the minutes ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, in his first rally since the
Is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli.
Welcome back to Sunrise. On this Thursday morning, we are showing our photo of the day, and although it's a summer photo of the day, this one is showing some fall colors, changing colors in Big Moose Lake, taken by Monica. And as you can see, here are great shots of the foliage next to Big Moose Lake. And a reminder that we are entering just a few days away the fall season. So send in your fall foliage pictures, include the location too, because as we head into the peak season, we're going to be updating our fall foliage report pretty much every day because things change very quickly here in central New York. So if you want to submit a photo like this, your location, any leaves you find, send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics. Well, this morning it's a cool start. Temperatures in the 50s and eventually warming up into the 70s, near 80 degrees this afternoon with plenty of sun. Gary?
Eric, thanks. What a picture from Big Moose that was.
A gorgeous shot. I mean, we're, I think, a week or two away from seeing peak colors in the high peak area.
It looks nice up there. Eric, thanks. New York State has launched a program.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. We are tracking a foggy start to the day today as some of the fog in the Mohawk River has creeped into downtown Utica. It's actually the densest it's been all morning right now. Let's take a live look outside. Again, you might run into this heading out the door early today, so a heads up, maybe budget a little bit extra time in case the fog is a little bit on the denser side. Current conditions, it is sunny though in Rome. It's not widespread fog. With comfortable humidity and temperatures sitting in the mid-50s. Radar right now is completely dry, and we'll still be tracking dry conditions throughout the day today. Radar and satellite showing that low pressure off the coast of New England right now. However, as it tries its best to shift westward into our area, this thin ridge of high pressure is going to keep things dry here locally. And as you can see here, the low pressure is far enough away to where we're going to be seeing more sunshine today compared to clouds. That was actually south of us yesterday, and that's why we saw so much cloud cover, especially south of the Mohawk Valley. Throughout the day today, temperatures climbing from the 50s this morning up into the upper 70s, low 80s. Still well above average this time of year, and humidity still noticeable, but not too bad. Rain chances, again, non-existent for the most part today. Fall foliage report. I took a trip down to Oneonta yesterday, and I got to see some of the foliage in the southern valleys. Parts of the higher elevations north of Cooperstown, northern Otsego County, are seeing the most colors. I headed south, and the colors were less and less vibrant. So, again, this is a changing map. It'll likely change every day or every other day, and we might include this in the midpoints within the next few days. But midpoint in parts of the highest elevations in the Adirondacks, some owner Skywatcher Eric in Inlet reported 40% leaves change up in Inlet. So again, some spots are seeing faster changing colors. If you would like to submit your own report, if you think the map is incorrect in your area, send it to wktv.com/weather/pics with your location. Bigger picture. Low pressure trying its best to shift inland, but it just can't. High pressure is still stubborn over our region, and that high pressure begins to fall apart as we head into Saturday and Sunday, but it's still there, and it's enough to weaken this front to the point where we'll likely see only a spotty shower, if that. Most of the weekend, most of the area throughout the weekend will be looking dry. But for today, though, again, temperatures climbing into the upper 70s, low 80s. By tonight, we'll see lows fall down into the 50s with partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. 7-day forecast, we have still kept the rain icon out for Saturday and Sunday, but again, can't rule out that rain chance just yet. Better shot for rain will be as we head into the first few days of next week, with cooler temperatures too. Those days will be in the upper 60s to barely 70 degrees, with again the best shot for rain Tuesday and into Wednesday. Gary?
Let it keep on rolling.
Well, hopefully the sun sticks around a little longer.
Let's set the record. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 6:50.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, Central New York. We woke up this morning with areas of patchy, dense fog. That fog is lifting and sunshine is moving in. Before we get to that, though, let's take a look at the radar and satellite, see how things are shaping up. And as you can see here, low pressure off the coast of New England. It will try its best to move inland, but it will encounter this very thin ridge of high pressure here locally, which is producing some sunshine here today. And they'll linger throughout most of the daytime, as you can see here. Clouds out to the east or to the west that will eventually fall apart as they push east. Throughout the day today, temperatures go from the 50s up into the upper 70s, low 80s. Warmer than average this time of year. Normal high is 72 degrees. And as we head into the end of September, our average high goes down to roughly the mid-60s. So enjoy the summertime weather while we still have it. We've got dew points or humidity today still sitting in the mid-50s, or at least upper 50s, low 60s today, which is right around average for this time of year. In fact, slightly humid, but not too bad. Now, as we head into, again, the final days of summer, we're approaching the peak fall color season, but not quite just yet. Still a little color in the lowest elevations. I did traveling to Otsego County down into Oneonta yesterday, and I saw that some locations north of Cooperstown, northern Otsego County, still the most amount of fall foliage colors. I would say very close to midpoint, while locations to the south saw a bit less regarding fall foliage. But more reports in the North Country, especially near the high peaks, where we are seeing a lot more colors. So I would officially put that in the midpoint as we head up north of Old Forge, closer to Inlet and northern Hamilton County. Now our foliage forecast as we head into the peak fall color season, 28th to 29th, the weekend of September, is where you'll see the near peaks of the Old Forge, North Country, Adirondack region, and the peak fall colors in the high peaks area. So if you're planning any hikes to the high peaks, the weekend of the 28th, 29th, possibly the best weekend to do it. And of course, barring any heavy rain that could knock down some of the leaves. And of course, midpoint to near peak would be possible in parts of the southern valleys. But back to the near-term forecast. Again, here's that low pressure down to the south and to the east. It's going to try to push inland, producing some heavier rain in parts of Boston and parts of Rhode Island, but it stays to our east. But we got this approaching cold front from the west, and our area is sandwiched in between these two systems. Now, high pressure is still going to do its best to weaken that system, but in the process, some of that lifting air will actually erode that high pressure, and we could see an isolated shower heading into Saturday or Sunday, but most of the area looks completely dry. And so in our Skycast this morning, we started out in the 50s. We're up into the upper 70s, low 80s this afternoon with opportunities for plenty of sunshine. Tonight, we'll see lows fall down into the 50s, rebounding back into the upper 70s tomorrow with still a good amount of sunshine as well. So a great end to the work week. Tomorrow night, we'll see a few more clouds, and then Saturday, it's looking mainly dry. As you can see here, we're seeing that approaching cold front from the west. It will gradually fall apart, but again, rain chances will still be there overnight. And so your 7-day forecast, rain is out of the icons for Saturday and Sunday, but again, don't be surprised if you end up seeing a shower throughout both Saturday or Sunday, especially in the outlying areas. Then by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, a better shot for rain showers with temperatures in the 60s, a slight cool down, but still slightly above average for this time of year.
Get your ticket.
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, Central New York. We woke up this morning with areas of patchy, dense fog. That fog is lifting and sunshine is moving in. Before we get to that, though, let's take a look at the radar and satellite, see how things are shaping up. And as you can see here, low pressure off the coast of New England. It will try its best to move inland, but it will encounter this very thin ridge of high pressure here locally, which is producing some sunshine here today. And they'll linger throughout most of the daytime, as you can see here. Clouds out to the east or to the west that will eventually fall apart as they push east. Throughout the day today, temperatures go from the 50s up into the upper 70s, low 80s. Warmer than average this time of year. Normal high is 72 degrees. And as we head into the end of September, our average high goes down to roughly the mid-60s. So enjoy the summertime weather while we still have it. We've got dew points or humidity today still sitting in the mid-50s, or at least upper 50s, low 60s today, which is right around average for this time of year. In fact, slightly humid, but not too bad. Now, as we head into, again, the final days of summer, we're approaching the peak fall color season, but not quite just yet. Still a little color in the lowest elevations. I did traveling to Otsego County down into Oneonta yesterday, and I saw that some locations north of Cooperstown, northern Otsego County, saw the most amount of fall foliage colors. I would say very close to midpoint, while locations to the south saw a bit less regarding fall foliage. But more reports in the North Country, especially near the high peaks, where we are seeing a lot more colors. So I would officially put that in the midpoint as we head up north of Old Forge, closer to Inlet and northern Hamilton County. Now our foliage forecast as we head into the peak fall color season, 28th to 29th, the weekend of September, is where you'll see the near peaks of the Old Forge, North Country, Adirondack region, and the peak fall colors in the high peaks area. So if you're planning any hikes to the high peaks, the weekend of the 28th, 29th, possibly the best weekend to do it. And of course, barring any heavy rain that could knock down some of the leaves. And of course, midpoint to near peak would be possible in parts of the southern valleys. But back to the near-term forecast. Again, here's that low pressure down to the south and to the east. It's going to try to push inland, producing some heavier rain in parts of Boston and parts of Rhode Island, but it stays to our east. But we got this approaching cold front from the west, and our area is sandwiched in between these two systems. Now, high pressure is still going to do its best to weaken that system, but in the process, some of that lifting air will actually erode that high pressure, and we could see an isolated shower heading into Saturday or Sunday, but most of the area looks completely dry. And so in our Skycast this morning, we started out in the 50s. We're up into the upper 70s, low 80s this afternoon with opportunities for plenty of sunshine. Tonight, we'll see lows fall down into the 50s, rebounding back into the upper 70s tomorrow with still a good amount of sunshine as well. So a great end to the work week. Tomorrow night, we'll see a few more clouds, and then Saturday, it's looking mainly dry. As you can see here, we're seeing that approaching cold front from the west. It will gradually fall apart, but again, rain chances will still be there overnight. And so your 7-day forecast, rain is out of the icons for Saturday and Sunday, but again, don't be surprised if you end up seeing a shower throughout both Saturday or Sunday, especially in the outlying areas. Then by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, a better shot for rain showers with temperatures in the 60s, a slight cool down, but still slightly above average for this time of year.
Winnedoc's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Thursday morning, Central New York. We woke up this morning with areas of patchy, dense fog. That fog is lifting and sunshine is moving in. Before we get to that, though, let's take a look at the radar and satellite, see how things are shaping up. And as you can see here, low pressure off the coast of New England. It will try its best to move inland, but it will encounter this very thin ridge of high pressure here locally, which is producing some sunshine here today. And they'll linger throughout most of the daytime, as you can see here. Clouds out to the east or to the west that will eventually fall apart as they push east. Throughout the day today, temperatures go from the 50s up into the upper 70s, low 80s. Warmer than average this time of year. Normal high is 72 degrees. And as we head into the end of September, our average high goes down to roughly the mid-60s. So enjoy the summertime weather while we still have it. We've got dew points or humidity today still sitting in the mid-50s, or at least upper 50s, low 60s today, which is right around average for this time of year. In fact, slightly humid, but not too bad. Now, as we head into, again, the final days of summer, we're approaching the peak fall color season, but not quite just yet. Still a little color in the lowest elevations. I did traveling to Otsego County down into Oneonta yesterday, and I saw that some locations north of Cooperstown, northern Otsego County, still the most amount of fall foliage colors. I would say very close to midpoint, while locations to the south saw a bit less regarding fall foliage. But more reports in the North Country, especially near the high peaks where we are seeing a lot more colors. So I would officially put that in the midpoint as we head up north of Old Forge, closer to Inlet and northern Hamilton County. Now our foliage forecast as we head into the peak fall color season, 28th to 29th, the weekend of September, is where you'll see the near peaks of the Old Forge, North Country, Adirondack region, and the peak fall colors in the high peaks area. So if you're planning any hikes to the high peaks, the weekend of the 28th, 29th, possibly the best weekend to do it. And of course, barring any heavy rain that could knock down some of the leaves. And of course, midpoint to near peak would be possible in parts of the southern valleys. But back to the near-term forecast. Again, here's that low pressure down to the south and to the east. It's going to try to push inland, producing some heavier rain in parts of Boston and parts of Rhode Island, but it stays to our east. But we got this approaching cold front from the west, and our area is sandwiched in between these two systems. Now, high pressure is still going to do its best to weaken that system, but in the process, some of that lifting air will actually erode that high pressure, and we could see an isolated shower heading into Saturday or Sunday, but most of the area looks completely dry. And so in our Skycast this morning, we started out in the 50s. We're up into the upper 70s, low 80s this afternoon with opportunities for plenty of sunshine. Tonight, we'll see lows fall down into the 50s, rebounding back into the upper 70s tomorrow with still a good amount of sunshine as well. So a great end to the work week. Tomorrow night, we'll see a few more clouds, and then Saturday, it's looking mainly dry. As you can see here, we're seeing that approaching cold front from the west. It will gradually fall apart, but again, rain chances will still be there overnight. And so your 7-day forecast, rain is out of the icons for Saturday and Sunday, but again, don't be surprised if you end up seeing a shower throughout both Saturday or Sunday, especially in the outlying areas. Then by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, a better shot for rain showers with temperatures in the 60s, a slight cool down, but still slightly above average for this time of year.
With Gary Liberatore.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And Eric, you did all the research yesterday, and today we have tied the record, right?
Yes, we have tied the record for the longest stretch of dry September days, at least since 2007, but I also did some more digging as well, and I found out some additional information about how dry just overall this September has been. So let's take a look outside right now. We can see Old Forge, a few trees starting to change color, but you can see, of course, it's relatively dry out. Matter of fact, entirely dry. Now, our records stand at a sum of just over an inch of rainfall this month, 1.06 inches. How does that compare to the top 10 driest Septembers ever? Well, we're not in the top 3, but as of now, we're in the top 4. So to give you an idea of just how dry this September is. But still, I mean, we have plenty of month left at this point for, you know, some rain showers to fall, obviously. But right now, you can see, of course, our Cavvy Tower camera showing completely clear skies. Current conditions, 74 and sunny. slightly humid out, dew points of 61, and the radar, as you can see here, is still looking entirely dry. So for now, the rest of today, a very pleasant summer day. And it's still summer, only a few days left of it. Fall is on the horizon, only seeing slightly cooler temperatures for the weekend, but not a huge cool down. We'll let you know what we can expect beyond that and potential rain chances in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. So many big events this week.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. We are still tracking dry weather across the board here in Central New York, and we're still seeing gorgeous conditions. It sounds like a broken record, but this is a good type of broken record after a very active summer. The final stretch is just fantastic. Quiet conditions, blue skies, and comfortable temperatures. Matter of fact, across Central New York, we're sitting at 74 in Rome, 75 in Hamilton, 73 down in Binghamton, and into the 70s across the board as you head both east and west of Utica and the Mohawk Valley. Radar right now is tracking quiet conditions. Again, this has been a stretch where we haven't really needed to use this too much. But with the dry weather in place in the final days of summer almost at an end, do recommend doing some last-minute summer cookouts today, tomorrow, maybe Saturday, depending on where those isolated showers pop up. But today and tomorrow looking almost entirely dry and great weather for that as well. All right, here's our temperature outlook for the next few days. This is 6 to 10 days out. You can see here we're going to be slightly above average in that light orange right here over Central New York. 8 to 14 days out, still the signal is showing above average temperature. But a reminder that as we head into the end of September, the average high is going to be in the mid-60s. And I'll show that in just a second what we're expecting down the road. But again, 2 days until fall. 41 days until Halloween and 69 days until Thanksgiving. So if you're wondering about those countdowns to fall weather events, well, here you go. Bigger picture, we're showing temperatures in the 70s today, driven by the south wind and, of course, plenty of high pressure in place. Now watch this low pressure try to surge inland. It's going to try to produce some rain showers along the coast and heading closer to parts of the border of Central New York, but it's not really producing anything all too much. Our next system will be this cold front arriving from the west. Now, this is going to fall apart when it reaches us. It's not going to be nearly as strong. That high pressure erodes it away, but a stray shower or two can't be ruled out, especially as we head into Saturday night. And so on our Skycast, today, temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s. Tonight, clear skies, partly cloudy, lows in the upper to mid 50s. By tomorrow, seasonable temperatures in the 70s with plenty of sunshine. Again, a great way to wrap up the work week. And following the cool down as we head into this weekend, for Saturday, high temperatures will be climbing only as high as the low to mid 70s with the potential for rain, spotty shower heading into the evening and overnight. Next 4 days, for now, we're still leaving rain showers out of the Saturday and Sunday forecast. First day of fall, cooler, high of 70, and then a slight cool down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So as I said, above average temperatures by next week, indicating we're still slightly above average, but no major heat wave. Sometimes you see those pictures, see a lot of orange and red. You think it's like a major heat wave. Well, a little warmer, but you know, it's a pretty average stretch.
Definitely a September to remember.
Very
Wow,
nice.
Crazy. Well, some of us love to sit down and
Go. You need to know. Will they need a jacket? An umbrella? What should your kids wear to school tomorrow? Get the bus stop forecast only from Storm Tracker 2. Brought to you by Utica National Insurance Group.
Here's what you missed on the Talk of the...
Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us. And Eric, once again, you did some research and we have tied that record today, the number of straight days without rain here in September.
Yes, dry stretch continues on, and we've got these blue skies in the backdrop right now. It's a gorgeous day out there today. A look outside in downtown Utica, near cloudless skies. And it's pretty interesting because if you head out to, for example, Syracuse and Rochester, it's mostly cloudy, especially in western New York and even towards the Atlantic coast. So we're the exception here in central New York today. 74 and sunny, dew point is 61, so the humidity is noticeable today, but not too bad. Radar, as you can see here, is a completely dry bubble over central New York. And this will stay that way for today into tomorrow, but we're cutting it close with rain chances as we head into the weekend. And it's a summer day today, upper 70s, low 80s, lots of sun. Get out and enjoy this weather because it's not too often following this week that we can manage to get into the low 80s with that low sun angle. So enjoy the nice weather, clear skies tonight, lows in the 60s and 50s. We are tracking, again, the latest changes in the weather pattern as we head into the weekend in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Did you know we're in the midst of now?
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. We are still looking at another day of dry weather, bringing the total up to 10 straight days on top of an already dry September, only gaining about an inch or so of rainfall in the past 19 or so days. A live look at downtown Cooperstown right now. Those of you who saw the new news a few days ago saw the fresh paving on the Main Street right there. So fresh pavement, cars are now back on Main Street, and even some of the fall foliage in the distance looking pretty beautiful. Temperature currently sitting at 75 in Cooperstown. It's still in the mid-70s across much of central New York early this afternoon. Radar is quiet as always. Nothing notable anywhere in the local area picking up on the radar scans. And with this dry weather in place, only a few days left of summer, great grilling weather for today, for tomorrow, and maybe Saturday. There's an isolated shower possible late, but most of us remain dry. Regardless, though, enjoy it because, of course, fall is only a few days away. Talking about temperatures, well, we got above average temperatures expected for the next 6 to 10 days, noticing Utica's in that darker orange stripe. 8 to 14 days, still looking at above average temperatures. But a reminder that above average by the end of September means usually above the mid-60s. So here's our temperature trend following this weekend into the middle of next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, high temperatures in the upper 60s. So it's not going to be a heat wave, even though some of those colors sometimes look like it'll be very warm, but it's going to be a very pleasant stretch of temperatures. And again, we got 2 days until fall, but the countdown for fall dates include 41 days until Halloween, and of course, one of my favorite holidays, Thanksgiving, 69 days away. So we only have a few more days until the fall season is upon us. Low pressure is still off the coast of New England right now. It's trying its best to move inland. This high pressure is doing its best to push it away. So we got a battle going on right now, and a secondary system will be trailing that high pressure, and this will basically squeeze it north, and the high pressure will try its best to eat away at some of these rain showers. So we'll still remain mainly dry for most of Saturday. However, that front will potentially produce an isolated shower heading into late Saturday evening. And so in our Skycast today, temperatures upper 70s, low 80s, plenty of sunshine, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies tonight with lows in the 50s. Tomorrow, a pleasant day, 70s and sun. Yet again, this dry stretch continues, and we'll have to see how long this holds because as of now, most of the day Saturday looking dry, potential for an isolated shower as that front moves east. And so, your 7-day forecast. A few more days of summertime weather, then a slight cool down Saturday and Sunday. First day of fall, high of 70. And then we'll see more typical temperatures this time of year into the upper 60s by Monday through Wednesday with a better shot for rain by the middle of next week. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We are back with News Talk. This news
With Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Another beautiful day today, a very warm afternoon. 78 degrees is the current temperature. We hit 81 at Griffiths and Rome. The humidity is up, dew point up to 62, so it does feel humid. That will also help produce some fog as we head into tonight with some higher humidity. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, a gorgeous day, lots of sunshine. We are going to stay dry throughout the course of this evening. Sunset time close to 7 o'clock these days. Summer is going to hang on for a little bit longer, but we do have some cooler weather ahead. It's going to happen in stages. It's not going to happen all at once. But by next week, we're going to see a pretty significant shift in the weather pattern. We're talking about clouds, rain, cooler temperatures as we head into next week. So enjoy the extended bonus weather that we're having. Mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the 70s this evening. This is going to last into the weekend before things start to change. I've got to look at that along with the latest fall foliage map showing some of the areas that are starting to see some color, and that's coming up. Back over to you.
Bill, thank you. Next year, the 200.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. A beautiful day today. Very warm. Lots of sunshine. We've got a few more days like this before things start to change. A live look in downtown Utica, 78 degrees. It's really warm out there, and it's going to be a very comfortable evening. If you don't like the warmth, this time of the year, things change very quickly. Our sunset tonight, just after 7. Tonight, we get a nice view of the International Space Station with clear skies in place. It flies by at 8:08, visible for 6 minutes. You want to make sure you have a nice view to the north, relatively clear, no trees, buildings in the way, because this makes a relatively low pass on the horizon at about 20 degrees. Again, 8:08, sky conditions are expected to be clear. Dry out there this evening. Live look at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Fall officially kicks off Sunday at 8:22 a.m. That's the exact moment where the sun's rays will be directly overhead at the equator. That's how we define the first day of fall, at least according to the calendar. How about those leaves? We are seeing color across central New York. The color is most pronounced in the higher elevations of the Adirondacks, where the leaf change is approaching halfway. The early reports indicate that the leaves are a little bit muted this year, and I think that has a lot to do with the recent dry spell. But you never know how things can change. We could see a lot more color in places, especially with some rain in the forecasts as we head into next week. Skywatchers checking in. A very warm day. Whitesboro, 80 degrees. Micah, New Hartford, 77. Fairfield, Sandy, 80. Curtis, 78. Westford, 75. Carroll and Worcester with 82 degrees. Big area of high pressure continues to drive our weather, bringing us more sunshine today. Despite this area of low pressure to the east of us, that's where it will stay. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, partly cloudy tonight. It cools off. We're into the 50s tonight. A little bit of patchy fog by daybreak. Sunshine tomorrow, another lovely afternoon. High temperatures in the upper 70s. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow night. On Saturday, the weather locally looks dry, but we are keeping an eye to the west. There will be some rain approaching western New York. Some of this may try to sneak in Saturday night, but I think the weekend, at least during the days, will be dry. Mostly clear tonight, 56 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, 78 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather pattern changes next week. Clouds, showers arrive late Monday, and they start to linger around Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with temperatures in the upper 60s. We're on day 10 of completely dry weather, so I think we'll start to need it by that point.
Well, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. We're going to ask with meteorologist James DeFazio. James, welcome.
Thank you so much, Jason. How are you this evening?
I'm good. What do we got tonight?
We had another wonderful, beautiful summer day for September. Unseasonably warm, beyond about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Summer's going to hang on for at least one more day, which is going to be fantastic. Looking forward tonight, low, 56, clear skies. We are tracking some wet weather for next weekend. We are going to absolutely need it by that point. Looking like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as we settle into fall, we start to get into a much wetter weather pattern.
All right, thank you, James. New tonight, the Monarch.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good evening. Here we are taking a look at the Oneonta webcam from Hartwick College. You can see some partly cloudy skies out there tonight. Some spotty stars are visible, but it is partly cloudy out there. Currently 63 degrees in Oneonta. Current conditions at Rome, we are standing at 66 degrees. Clear skies. Humidity is a tick up. It's hanging on the dew point at 57 degrees. We have muggy conditions. However, as we move closer to fall over the next couple of days, temperatures are going to be into a cooling trend. Taking a look at the current temperatures around the state, 56 in Rome, 55 in Hamilton. We're down to 66 in Binghamton. Our cool spot, 51 degrees up here in Saranac Lake. Taking a look forward, our full foliage report. It is going to be a great weekend to get out there and take a look at some of the colors. Unfortunately, it might not be quite there at peak yet, but you will see quite a bit of color up in the Adirondacks. They are approaching the midpoint for their color. This is the big picture right now. We had an area of low pressure which has been working slowly up the East Coast and fizzling out as it does so and encounters high pressure. We have another area of low pressure that's going to be working in from the west, particularly during the day on Saturday. We do believe that it is going to encounter enough high pressure that it will stall and keep most of the precipitation and rainfall to our west. The Finger Lake region looks to be the prime location to have the highest probability for some rainfall Friday evening, but we're still thinking dry for the weekend. Taking a look at the skycast, 60s, mid-60s right now, 64 in Utica. Quickly tonight, we do dip down into the 50s, but we're down into the 50s, mid-50s tonight. Tomorrow, we rise right into the 70s. Tomorrow night, slightly warmer, mid-50s, and then yet again, we do warm back up into the low 70s. Tonight, low, 56 degrees, mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, high, partly sunny, 78 degrees. Overall, an incredible day absolutely incredible day for September. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast. Summer-like weather continues tomorrow. 78 degrees, about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Another beautiful day on Saturday. We do have that chance for a spotty shower, especially to the west. Sunday, first day of fall, and then as we move into next week, temperatures start to become more seasonable, and we have plenty more chances for rainfall.
All right, well, we could actually use some rain about now.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, good job. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Coming up next, 38 of the best look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. How you doing, Bill?
It's great. It's a great Thursday, Jay.
Oh, it is. It's even better Friday because the weather's going to be nice.
It's been such an unbelievable stretch of weather, and it is going to continue at least for a little bit longer. Current conditions, 64 degrees, clear skies. The humidity, a little bit higher than it's been, so we'll call it muggy. We'll see some development of fog here as we head into tonight. A very quiet night across central New York. Weather headlines, warm weather continues for a little bit longer. Temperatures tomorrow making a run towards 80 again. Again, just a very warm day. The weather does cool down in steps over the next couple of days. By the weekend, we're into the low 70s. And then we get some changes. A pretty significant change in the weather pattern takes place next week. And we do get some much needed rainfall. Low temperature tonight of 56, comfortable, some patchy fog. Again, tracking a lovely finish to the work week and a nice weekend ahead. Look at the forecasts coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. Happy Friday Eve. We are taking a live look in downtown Utica. Temperature of 63 degrees, cooling off and very comfortable. In fact, if you look at this camera closer, you can actually see a spider web being reflected here off the street lights. Yeah, we have a freeloader going on here. Dry weather going forward. We are looking at a stretch that continues. It's up to day 10. We'll add 2 more at least, maybe 3, over the next couple of days. The most recent stretch that was actually longer than this current one, 12 days without rain in 2020 from September 14th through the 25th. It's also been really warm. If you had to use the air conditioner today, I think you might have to use it tomorrow and Saturday, but cooler weather ahead means you will get a break from using that. If not, using it less and less, maybe time to start thinking about putting the window unit away. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's quiet. Again, it's been very dry and very quiet weather thanks to high pressure. Fall officially begins on Sunday, 8:43. That's the exact time that the sun's rays will be directly over the equator. That's how we define the first day of fall. Fall colors continue to emerge. The brightest colors in the Adirondacks, where conditions are about midpoint, which means about half the leaves have changed over. There are some pockets where it's a little bit more than half, but this is a general map here, and it'll take another week or two for peak color to emerge in the Adirondacks and a little bit longer in the Mohawk Valley. Everything so far seems to be pretty close to average here, just based on the early reports in terms of when peak color is expected. So we've got this big dome of high pressure. It's been blocking storms away from us, this storm being blocked to the east, another one being blocked to the west. It's pretty impressive, and it's going to continue here as we head into the next couple of days. Partly cloudy tonight, overnight lows in the 50s. Another beautiful day tomorrow, lots of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 70s. It remains dry tomorrow night. Great weather for high school football. And then Saturday, this high pressure system still holds on, although it might bring some showers to the west. I don't think they'll be happening here until maybe late Saturday night. Mostly clear tonight, 56 for the overnight low. Sunshine tomorrow, 78. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather changes next week. Clouds, showers, a stretch of cool, wet weather. Although we do need it, it's going to be hard to let this go. We've all enjoyed this thoroughly.
Appropriate that fall is here, and here comes the rain.
Just happened to work out that way.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next,